Okay, so my name is Justice Brooks, and today I'm gonna be talking about how to make a long distance relationship work. Okay, so a relationship is basically a, a concept, object, or people who are connected by a bond, or they feel connected to one another. They go together, basically. Um, the reason for or the purpose for this presentation is because when I want to help people who have like long distance relationship problems, to show them that they are able to work through it, and like it's not as hard as everyone makes it seem. You know, there's going to be like some things they have to work on to get better and stuff, but anyone can get through it if they really wanted to, you know. And then there's going to be requirements that are needed to make it survive, which is basically what I'm going to show you how to make it survive. What do you call it? My introduction for this speech is there are multiple long distance relationships across the world, like that end up really bad. They crash and burn due to a lot of reasons. Number one is because of the distance, like literally because of how far they are from each other. And the other ones are from other people's opinion, like them putting their 2 cents in it and telling that person who's in the relationship what to do and how to feel about certain things, which is not a good idea. It leads up to not good ideas. Two is a lack of communication, where one of the people in the relationship stop telling them stuff like how's their day, and just letting them know things about that other person, like what's going on. Basically, they lose that. The last one is just the person changes their mind, like they're just too afraid that something's gonna happen, so they just dip out and they just find something new, something closer to them, something that they can actually interact with, instead of on the phone and just hardly seeing that person. That's the hard parts of it. There was a saying that I hear now, but I used to hear more back then, is that like if you both want it to work, it will work. And that's with anything. Another reason why I chose this topic, this topic, is because my parents are like an example of long distance relationship, and they're still together. My dad gets deployed like every year, almost every year, and he's gone for like different periods of time, but they're long. And my stepmom, she's still here, you know. She hasn't left, and she's fighting, and she's still working. Like, she has her job, but she still communicates with my dad when he's gone, and they both find a way to make it work, and they still feel the same way as they felt as if they were still like right next to each other, which is like something really, really nice to see. You know, you really don't see that now in days. So that's something I want to encourage. Something that, like, if you really love that person, nothing is gonna stand between y'all. So that's why I'm doing that. The preview. So what I'm gonna be basically, first, I'm gonna explain the main problems that occur in long distance relationships. Second, how situations can lead up to breakups and bad things if the problems and the situations are not fixed. Like, if y'all just keep arguing on the phone and just fighting to one another, like, it's not gonna go anywhere. It really isn't. And it can be fixed if you listen to the good tips. Also, for not fixing it, it's harder in a long distance relationship. The main reason is because, as opposed to any other relationship, is because like it's so easy for you to just ignore that person because you don't see them. It's really just all communication on the phone, like technology. And if you don't get on that, then there's no way you can really communicate with that person, which can really end up in the breakup, which is bad. The third one is knowing good tips to work through problems that are being dealt with. And I have some problems or tips that if you listen, y'all can probably get through it if y'all really want it to work. Okay, so body. The problems, like I said, going through days without interacting with the person and really talking to them can bring a downfall, because you don't really know how they're feeling. It can cause stress, angriness, because you're just not around that person, and like what was once there, like it's slowly fading, which is not helping the relationship grow. So just feeling frustrated can cause these problems to get bigger and to just have a bigger meltdown. The second one, like I said before, the lack of communication. Like if there's no communication, there's nothing you can do. Like how to express to one another, that wouldn't be there. Like your feelings wouldn't matter because you're not telling them how you feel about certain things or like what you're going through. So if they don't know, then how can they help, or how can they be there for you like they say they are if you're not really talking? Third is for letting people intervene you guys' relationship, like letting them tell you what is right and what's wrong, letting them say, oh, that's not good for you, oh, they're doing this, oh, they're doing that, putting all these ideas in your head that maybe they're overreacting, maybe they're going a little overboard and making you feel some type of way, and then making you just not want to do it anymore and just give up, which is not something you in the first place wasn't even thinking of. Probably you were just frustrated, and you let that plus your frustration plus your stress plus your angriness all combine, and then boom, this ends. Not here. Like I said, it just ends, and someone that you truly loved, someone that you really cared about, is no longer in the picture because of the distance, and it just didn't work, which can hurt you inside and make you regret something you didn't even want to do in the first place. That's why you gotta fight through it, and that's why I want to help you. Here's some good tips for a good and strong, healthy relationship, long distance relationship. 1, be able to compromise. Like, be able to sit down and talk. Like, oh, well, like, just express how you feel. Tell them, oh, this is how we're gonna do it, or we're gonna do it that way. I like that idea. Like, acknowledge one another. Like, be there and support them. And if I know physically people can't, but tell them every single day, even though it might be small, like texting them good morning or good night. Little things like that can just always have an impact on the other person. Do stuff like that. Next one is, don't make your partner feel like their feelings are invalid. And because if you do, then they're gonna feel like you just don't care, and you're just not in it, which you are. You're just being busy, but just find a way to pass all that busyness and just make time for them like you would do if you were there physically, because anyone will make time for the person they care about physically, Just do it when you're not there, because you'll show them that you really care for them. And also try to at least understand from their perspective. Like, if something doesn't go right, try to hear it from them. Don't hear from anybody else. Like, listen to what your own significant other has to say. Don't put to and assume other things when you can just ask the person who they're talking about or who you're hearing stuff about. Tell you what happened. Just listen. The last one is reassurance. Remind them that you love them, that you're always going to be there for them, that no matter what happens, that You're going to be the rock. And make them feel wanted. There's nothing better than having someone you love treat you like you're the only thing that matters. I mean, come on. Anybody will love that. Make them feel wanted. My conclusion is that long distance really doesn't have to be hard. It really doesn't. It takes effort. It takes time, determination, consistency. It takes a lot of work, but you know, if y'all both really in it, it will work. See what I did right there? It works. And giving up shouldn't be the go-to when things get hard. Don't give up as soon as possible. Work through it. And by all means, if y'all hit rock bottom and it's really over, then then there's nothing else. But don't let that be your first and only option in a long distance relationship. As soon as they leave, don't automatically think break up. Because I promise you it's not where it's gonna go if it becomes long distance relationship. Last one, fight through it. Really fight through it. And fight through it, you give it your all, and hey, you just don't know, maybe y'all both been working with something magical, special for each other. You know, there was this one quote that I read from this guy that was really good, by Jordan Blake Michaels. It said, "It has been said that true love bears all things. This does mean that we should test our loved ones until they break from frustration of our actions." So basically, no matter what happens, whatever thing life throws at y'all, that shouldn't be the problem. Y'all should fight through it, test, and no matter what at the end, don't fall. Y'all will only make each other stronger, and fight through all frustrations y'all have with one another. So long distance can work if y'all really wanted to. My parents work. I'm pretty sure there's other stories where long distance relationships work. And you gotta have trust. Thank you. This concludes my presentation, and all my resources are after this slide. So thank you. Bye.